I've been scarred and I've been bruised. I have learned just what to do. I need to leave my past behind me. I need to look to the future. No matter what will come, no matter what I've done, I know just what to do. And that's all because of you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being back. I'm also happy to be back. We welcome you in our space if you are joining us for the first time. We welcome you home if you are here consistently, persistently, as you always are. You are so appreciated. Happy Tuesday, and I'm glad to be sharing this time with you. We're not here long. Today we are talking purpose today. I suppose because after I did the get to know me video, and a lot of people just felt like so many things align with your purpose. Everything you do seems to be so systematic and geared towards your purpose. And a lot of inboxes, have you always known? How does it feel like? And very difficult construct to explain because it's not really a psychological construct. But I thought, you know what, there's something protective about people that seem to have made meaning in their lives, have understood their purpose, that is very protective psychologically. Even when other things aren't making sense, where they feel like there's a good understanding of why they are here and where they are going, they just seem to do better psychologically. And this sense of being misplaced and a poor fit for most things that you are doing causes psychological distress. So I thought, okay, although purpose isn't really psychology, there's elements of it that really tie in well, and perhaps we can chat about those, and maybe pour in a bit of subjective experiences and opinions, and we'll see if you can personally develop from there. I suppose because the biggest question for most people, and was my question as well when I was in an ongoing discovery of trying to make sense of my life and actualize and reach the best of what I think I'm here for, I've always been so curious, like, how do you know? Does like God sort of whisper it? You know, when someone's like, I heard from the Holy Spirit, you're like, what does that sound like? What does that sound like? Is it like a voice? Am I waiting for a dream? You know, how is this going to come packaged? Is it a sign? Do you feel it in the belly of your stomach that this is the one? This is the one that I'm supposed to be doing. So I was waiting for signs like that, hi God, seems like you're dishing out purpose left, right, and center. I'm here, let me know. And yeah, that's kind of not how it came. So I know a lot of people are also like, this purpose thing seems to be missing me, and I'm feeling a bit left out, because it seems like for you to find meaning in your life, you must know what your purpose is. And maybe purpose and nine. This is where it starts bothering me, that if you don't have a good sense of awareness of this purpose, or you haven't uncovered it yet, you then feel like then I'm not purpose. And that's not a good place to engage with life, where you feel like I don't have a purpose, because there is no such thing. You know, not discovering something doesn't imply an absence of its existence. And I wanted to chat about that, especially to the people where it's likely to be difficult or slow for you to uncover a place of meaning making in your life. Because one, meaning making and purpose finding is it's kind of superior functioning, if I can put it like that. I'm thinking of a better word. Your priority in the list of living demands. You know, there's things that are more urgent to take care of, and when they're in place, it's easier to want to better yourself and do things for meaning. So sometimes, not that there's no search for purpose, just that maybe the need to go find money is pressing because poverty, you know. So it's not that utheni purpose ndingatendi yazi, it's that you are unlikely to survive and thrive at the same time. So when survival is your core business of the day, things like why am I here don't matter, because you're going to take the opportunity that comes, whether it has meaning or it doesn't meaning, because it's urgent, because livelihood is urgent. So the people that have had stumbles along the way in terms of having to do things for themselves, not a great support system, not a lot of money, and safety, security, belonging may be more urgent things for you, and actualizing actually comes last. And you won't reach that until these things are in place, because when you are hungry, etc. So maybe consider that I've had more urgent things to attend to, and their necessity has made me less worried about whether is it in line with my purpose or not I did it out of necessity. It was necessary. I didn't have the option of finding meaning or not finding meaning, and if the only meaning I'm interested in is the income it's bringing for my family. So that's normally the biggest prohibition behind not having discovered your purpose. I had more urgent things to attend to. So perhaps take solace in knowing it's not that the purpose awunayo, just that ipha phezulu ezidepsini and usazama uqabela apha ezantsi. So that's number one. Also, number two, the concept of I is a very difficult concept to form. So a purpose is sort of the question of where am I going? And for most people, because of source problems, identity problems. Before you decide where I is going, which is purpose, who am I? I'm speaking to the people with paternity difficulties. I don't know who my dad is. And it's an easier question to answer when I is very defined to decide where I is going. And for a lot of people, I wasn't as defined. I'll tell you for an example, what made this easy for me is that I'm born from two parents that I was lucky to still have been alive and raise me. So I know who my mom is, I know who my dad is. I know all of my grandparents, and I kind of know about their parents as well. So this is a person that is so sure in who they are. There isn't time for me in life to go figure out who am I, the identity of, even if it's little, you may think this is nonsense, but I've got answers of the question, who are you? So my dad will be like, and those things feed into answering who am I. I belong somewhere. I know who I am. So it's a crystallized concept, who I. So it's easy to say, where is I going? Because Mnano I says and the path is very easy from there onwards, because a lot of it has been defined already. Is there any expectations that you're like, I balapekai bakuba kanje? So a lot of your beginning steps have been set out for you, and purpose is continuing that journey. Take it for instance, my parents are both teachers, therefore the access of education is an obvious thing. So a purpose and opening schools and now we cannot isolate that. For if I didn't go to school, would that be my purpose? So I want to get about the foregrounding of it was actually done by other people. The influences that deposited some experiences in my head were coming from somewhere. I understand, excuse that sound, we can't switch it off, but yeah, bear with me. I'm hoping my voice will be more audible than the sound. But there's a lot of answers that were already there, and I made meaning from those answers to decide from this point going on in the future, where am I going to be going? So for someone who's like, my dad left, and an identity and a sense of source and grounding is a more urgent need than destination for most people, because the person wants to be sure of themselves, and they're sure of a lot of things. It's hard to be sure of other things when you're unsure of yourself. When you're sure of you, you know what works for you, what doesn't work for you, where are your limits, what can you take, what can't you take, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, your history of goal setting and goal accomplishment, those things. Because you've had an opportunity to test them out, have results, test them out, have results, so they are defined. You have a sense of security when your I is defined. So that could be another reason why someone is battling to find their purpose, because for once they are waking up to their history and trying to modify a life of their own, you'll get to a point of picking your destination. You'll get to a point of picking your destination, but for now, perhaps you are designing the vehicle of getting to that destination, and that's okay. It doesn't mean your purpose is in there. It means the aspect of uncovering it is perhaps not urgent and not as easy. So basically, the long and short of it is, it's not like you don't have a purpose, because it's not so streamlined. Another thing is, this is an ongoing process of discovery. I don't know how God presents himself to other people. It's different. Everyone who speaks of having found their purpose seems to have a different narrative of how it was revealed to them. But the consistent thing is, it's an ongoing discovery. For some, it's accidental. For some, it was prophesied by someone else. For some, it's a test out of realities, and the pattern of what draws them in became more clearer. The more of that they did, the more they knew that I want to do more of that. Some, the passion led them there, that I want to do this all the time. I can't stop myself from doing it. And directly and the journey for some answered the question that I'm on this road, and each corner I turn, there seems to be an answer that I was seeking. And this has been my experience of it. That being on the journey has taught me about how to sustain the journey. And the more I'm on the journey, the more its answers became defined. What started as an idea became more than just an idea. It had a how, and then it had destiny helpers. Then it had a where. It was easy to then map destination, but I had to be on it. All of my destiny helpers were found on the journey, had I not gotten on the journey. So for me, it came as instinct and intuition and gut feeling. So yeah, Zabang Moses, and it will be a burning bush for you. Zabang Mary, and it will be an angel for you. I don't know how it's going to come. It doesn't look like there's a consistent theme, but I'm telling you, the peace, alignment, and resonance, you will know when it has come. Are you going to be absolutely sure? No, we've done a certainty video. Normally people, sometimes I'm like, yeah, God, but if you said it, how come it's not looking like how I envision God things to look? You know, because you are abundant, silver and gold are yours. Then you know how this is not adding up. And I learn other things about purpose. I learned surrender about purpose. That's not my purpose, it's his purpose. So he'll find it when he wants to find it. He'll execute it when it's time for it to be executed. So I'm learning different things about the journey. But it doesn't mean when you found your purpose, those people are relaxed. It does, however, make life worth living for them. There's an inherent joy that people that seem to have found their purpose and enjoy. So I want you guys to find your purpose as well. Sometimes the Holy Spirit is as simple as an internal feeling, almost like a moral compass inside of you that convicts you. Elevated energy when you walk into certain spaces where you're like, I'm upbeat when I'm here. It fuels me rather than take from me. And the more of that you gather, I'm saying expose yourself to experiences, and the more experiences you have, the more a pattern will emerge. What comes with ease? What sustains itself? What doesn't take from you so much? What keeps pulling you back, even if it's other people that are inviting you in? Because sometimes people comes by feedback. And people keep saying, you're killing this. This is your thing. Even if when ungena awareness it was a hobby, and the feedback tells you, and therefore this feedback and constant invitation draws you in, and you find your purpose. It's an ongoing process of discovery. Peel the layer by layer by layer, and you're going to get even when you are in it, the actual destination isn't known. So now I'm on a quest to solidify my purpose. In a zone off ramp and. But when I'm saying I've found my purpose, I'm saying I've picked a path and committed to staying on it. And there's deep resonance inside of me that tells me I'm likely to sustain this because it doesn't tire me. It doesn't tire me. That is essentially what I am saying. So I don't have the experience of audible messages from God. I'm not saying other people haven't. So someone else is someone else is mine always comes with instinct, and instinct has served me in my purpose. Something just needs to feel right, and I'm like, that's the one. That's how I live my life. That's how I choose careers. That's how I choose friends. I don't seek things, and when I found them, I'm like, this is a fit. So purpose found me. So essentially that is it. It's not like how na purpose. Sometimes purpose is up there, and you need to do the groundwork. You've got more urgent questions to answer. You're going to figure it out. And I'm a Christian, and I can promise you, God will show his hand in your life. Especially if he designed you and designed the purpose. Its successful execution is more for his sake than it is for yours. You're going to find purpose. Make meaning from one thing at a time. Make meaning from your job. Make meaning from your family life. Make meaning from, and eventually your entire life is going to have meaning, and you'll start to see, actually the meaning of my life, one, is to develop. Meaning of my life is to grow. Meaning of my life is to enhance. Meaning of my life is to teach. Meaning of my life is to entertain. Bring a good mood and good. Meaning of my life is to enable. Meaning of my life meaning of my life is to serve. And you'll see by serving, having authority and realizing you don't like it, and. Let the journey teach you. You're not supposed to have a definitive answer. Each experience is sharpening, getting to the crux of the matter. So go through the pruning, go through the sharpening, expose yourself to as many things, test out as many realities, and eventually you are going to find the crux of the matter. So Bobby purpose. So yes, I look coordinated because the journey started privileged a little bit for me. It's not a perfect family, but of course having two living parents is privilege. It's not something I designed, but some elements of purpose. Therefore some questions became easier to answer because I was very clear. So therefore where I'm taking I became an easier thing to untangle. It may be a bit of a mess for you, and just be patient with your process. Okay, remember, we are not here next week. We are not here for a couple of more weeks. I am taking a break that's roughly a month long, and we will be back. I need to attend to school. I need to rest. I need to recharge. We need to redefine the concepts, and we'll be back. I promise. I promise. We might be shooting, but we may not be uploading. So we're not gone, but we're just taking a break from delivering to you because I've got other things to attend to, and I did ask for a mid-break from you in the beginning of the year. So this is not a surprise. Thank you guys. Take care of yourselves. Binge. Yeah, Kotleli team. Yeah, Kotleli. I know what the sound is picking it up and he's trying not to sneeze. We won't cut that. You know, it's raw. This is how it happens. Okay, Kotleli, no Kotleli sometimes. Thank you so much. Take good care of yourselves. I'm reachable in the platforms. It's just YouTube that I'm temporarily taking a step down from to go attend to my submissions, and then I'll be back. Bye.